We are going to start this is just by putting it together. One thing about this instrument is you have to be very careful with these pieces. They are very fragile. So this right here, this is the bell. This is the very bottom of the clarinet. And what we are going to do is we are going to take this piece right here, and we are going to very gently hold it like this, and we are going to slip the cork into the top of the bell like this. It's the piece with the cork on the bottom.
Yeah.
That's it right there. Yeah. So very gently, we're going to slide it right in like that. If it's stuck, don't force it. Just ask for some help, and I'll help you out. You can give it a little. What's up? Okay, I can come over right now. Yeah. Those little bags that they came with. So this. Okay, you did not.
Oh, wait for a second.
So this is called cork grease. This is super helpful for when it's getting a little too tough to put on. So what you do is you're gonna, if you don't mind, I'll take that. You move it up a little bit. It looks like chapstick, but you don't rub it directly. You take a little bit on your finger just like this, and you just rub the cork just a little bit like this. Not too much, not too little, just so it gets a little easier to slide. Yes?
I left mine at my house and I'm just saying.
Oh, that's totally okay. Yours is already on, so your cork is doing all right. But yeah, so you're good for it then. Yeah. All right, that should be a little better. I'll try that now. That might be a little easier. Hi, my name's Noah. We just got started. I can come back there real quick and show you the first step we just did. If you don't mind, we just shared our names, our favorite animal, and our activity, just to know each other a little bit more. So,
no, you can keep going.
all right, awesome. Yeah. So, let me see this real quick. Just how I put just a little bit more. Yes, take that up, put a little bit under. Okay, so the first step we did is we took our clarinets out of the case and we connected this bottom piece to the bell of the clarinet. So if you guys could take out this piece right here, this is the bell, this is the very bottom piece of the clarinet, and then you're going to take right above the bell, this one with the cork on the bottom but not on top. Yeah, so what you want to do is very gently place the part with the cork into the top of the bell. And if it gives you some trouble, don't push too hard. Just let me know and I can come back there and help you.
Yeah, folks, a lot of you should have this chapstick looking stuff, this cork grease. Basically what I like to do is, it doesn't have to be pretty. I'll take a little glob of it, and then what I do is I pretend like I'm pinching, and then I just make sure to rub the cork grease in evenly so it gets all around, okay? And the clarinet only goes together one way. So if you try to put the bell on something and it falls off, you know that's the wrong way. And just as he was saying before, obviously this looks like a bell, so it's called the bell, right? So when you put this in here, yeah, you never want to feel like you're, I just twist and push, and 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 eventually it goes right on, just like that. So we have the bell, because it looks like a bell, and then we have, this is called the lower joint, because it's the lower joint.
All right, so the next step we're going to do is we're going to take now the lower joint and the bell, and we're going to take this piece right here, and this is one we're going to have to be very careful with, okay? So you see at the bottom we have two sides of the cork. We're going to want to face the side with this hanging off towards the bottom. Yeah, just like how he's holding it like this. We want to do it just like this. This is the direction. Oh, if you can just wait 1 second.
Yeah, folks, and again, if it's hard for you to do, what I do is I take that little glob of cork grease, I put it on top, and I put it on bottom. Now here's the part, this is a little tricky, and this was going to take a couple minutes, so we're both going to float around to make sure that you do it correctly. So obviously we have our bell and lower joint. This upper joint, you'll see there's a piece, it's like kind of like a little silver bridge. It's called the bridge key, and our bridge attaches to our lower joint, and you want to make sure that bridge lines up so nobody falls off our bridge. And again, and I twist and push, and I'll go around, and you'll see this little piece of silver how it lines up right on that bridge. And we'll go around and kind of show you how that bridge lines up. So with it, yeah. So your bridge is right here. See your bridge? And you line up your bridge right exactly. Now again, you just got to be careful and watch how I do it. Sometimes you might have to press this button down while you do it. Just kind of twist and push and twist and push and twist and push and twist and push and twist and push. And then just make sure, see how my bridge is nice and lined up?
Yep.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, another way that you can tell if you're looking, you want to make sure, A, that your bridge is lined up, those little silver keys, that bridge key. Another thing, if you look at the clarinet from the front, all of the keys should be in a straight line. Those are the two different ways you can tell. You can either connect the bridge so no one falls off our bridge, or you can just kind of look at it from the front and all those keys will connect in a straight line. And while you do that, I'm just going to kind of float. We're going to just float around gentle. So when you do that, don't do this jabbing motion. Again, all I'm doing, even if it's hard to do, I just twist and push, and twist and push, and twist and push, until it is all lined up. There you go.
Holes on either side of it. You see that? All right, and we're going to take this lower bottom again, what he said, if it doesn't fit, then it's not the right place. We're going to take the wider side of it, and we're going to place it right on top of this cork right here. And again, you might want to grease that up before you do it, because it might... This, you want to be extra careful that you're not moving either the joints while you're putting this on. So make sure you check right back and make sure that you can still have everybody crossing the bridge and that it's still lined up.
Quick. And folks, you're going to hear me say this so many times, you get to know all this stuff. So obviously we have, it's a bell, because it looks like a bell. We have the lower joint because it's the bottom. We have the upper joint because it's the upper part. And then this is called the barrel, and it kind of peek to make sure your bridge is still lined up and that your keys are still in line. Sometimes when people put the barrel on and they start twisting, they get the other joints out of alignment. So just make sure everything's in a nice straight line. Cat are sure to love, and your parents are going to love it too. In your case, you should have a little piece of wood like this. It is called a reed. When you handle this reed, I want you to be very careful. It's very breakable. You could have the nicest clarinet in the world and the nicest mouthpiece in the world, but if you damage this $2 piece of wood, clarinet's not going to work. When you handle it, always handle it by the bottom, this thicker part. Really try to avoid grabbing it by the tip or the top. And even if you brush it up against your clothes, it can crack, so you really got to be careful. For most of us, what we're going to do is just kind of put it in our mouth and suck on it like a lollipop for like 20 seconds. For those of us, if you've ever I don't have one with me, but there's those little M&M containers you can get at the store. I only ever find the giant ones. I only ever found the little one at like an art store. But if you have a little container at home, what I like to do is I like to soak my reeds in water, and your parents will like this. I soak my reeds in water because it helps them last longer. The same acid in your spit that breaks down your food and makes it mushy, that same acid will break this down and make it go bad faster. So if you want, you got a little container, fill it with water, soak it in water. But since most of us don't have that, just suck on it like a lollipop. Never mind then. Now after you're done doing that, this is going to take us just a minute just to kind of walk by and look. So when you do this, please take out this part, the mouthpiece. Because it goes in your mouth. That's why they call it the mouthpiece. Easy enough. And then what you're going to do, again, handling the reed by the sides, by this thicker part, not the tip, not the top. You want to line up the tip of the reed with the tip of the mouthpiece, and you want the reed to lie flat. The flat part might have writing on it on the back, and it just lies flat. And you can just kind of hold it there with your thumb like this. When you are done with that and it's lined up, there's this part, it's called a ligature. Now, you guys' ligature looks a little bit different than mine, but that's okay. And you're going to want to put your ligature on so the screws face you. Okay? And then what you're going to do, be very careful. You want to make sure the ligature is centered. And then it's at the bottom part of that reed, that thicker part of that reed. It will look something like this. You don't want the reed, you don't want the ligature to be halfway up the reed. It should be nice and low, just like mine is. Just like that. The tip of the reed with the tip of the mouthpiece. If you look really closely, you'll actually see a little black fingernail, the very tip of the mouthpiece, and that's what we want to see. This is going to take a second, so we're just going to float to make sure that's okay. Can I steal that from you for a second? Okay, very good. Now, I'm going to be picky. You want to make sure your ligature is even lower than what it is. So, when you adjust this, notice how I'm always moving it by the sides, okay? I never want to grab the tip. So, you got to make sure your reed is totally in alignment. So again, this is so good. Here's the fun part, folks, and we've all done this before, but now you're going to do this without my assistance. Remember, when we tried these out, we pretended something was gross, and we said, ew, go ahead. Ew. You're now going to take your finger, make a little hook. Gently roll your lip over your bottom teeth, just a little bit. Between your teeth, gently bite down, and blow. Ready, blow harder. Very good. Now, what you're going to do, just like we did before, you're going to put this about halfway in your mouth. Now remember, when you play a clarinet, the mouthpiece does not angle like this. It kind of angles down like this. Come on in, have a seat. You can sit right back there. So when you do this and you put it in your mouth, make sure there's a slight tilt to it. We don't want this. We want this. And again, my chin is flat. My lip is rolled. Go ahead and I give it a... Now, here's the part now. Can you do the squawk without puffing your cheek? If we were going to walk by and poke you in the corner of your mouths, these muscles would be firm, they'd be tight. When you tighten these muscles, your cheeks don't puff. So keep this flat, keep these firm. Ew! All right, let's drive our parents a little bit crazy, but don't go too crazy, okay? Assume the mouth. Here we go, the mouthpiece. Here we go. I'll give you 4 counts to breathe. Breathe. Ready. Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Take a big breath.
This is the fun part. Now that we've all made our swap, I would like everybody to see if they can do this. This is a little trickier. Without the mouthpiece first, I would like everyone to very simply take that right hand. Take a hand over your belly button. Relax the abs. Let your belly hang out. I'm going to give you 4 counts to breathe, and I want to see you fill your belly like a balloon. And then tighten your abs and deflate. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see it. So just like when I say go, you're going to get big. And then you're going to tighten your abs and you're going to deflate. You're going to get big. You're going to deflate. Can we do that a couple times together? So hand over the... If you look down at your hand, you should see your hand move. Let's try it together. Hand over the belly. Wait till I say go. 1, 2, ready. Fill it up. Get big. Deflate. Make your clarinet face while you do it. Breathe in. Now deflate. One more time. Get big. Last time, deflate. Don't puff. Good. Now here's where we're going to make the mouthpiece. So that's the equivalent of just squawking. Now what I want everyone to do is I would like everyone to take a deep breath for 4 counts, take like 30 seconds. And I want you to say the word 2 until you run out of breath. So you're going to get big like this. And you're going to go 2, 2, 2, 2, making your clarinet face. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. All right, and only breathe once. That's the key. Let's try that one more time. Breathe. Go. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Roll that lip. 2, 2, 2, 2. Make that face. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Who can beat me? 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. I'm going to pass out. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, you win. I can't do it anymore. Very nicely done. All right. Yes, ma'am.
This doesn't make a noise.
That's okay. We'll look at that momentarily. We'll look at that just in a minute. Now, you're going to do almost the exact same thing you just did, except now, slow it down and say 2 this fast. I'm going to give you 4. You're going to go breathe. And you're going to go 2, 2, 2, 2, just as fast as I snap my fingers. But you only breathe once. We do not want 2, 2, 2, because you're going to pass out and fall out of the chairs, and we don't want that. So you're going to take a nice deep breath. And you're going to say the word two as fast as I snap my fingers, okay? And 1, 2, ready, breathe in, breathe in. Say two, 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 two. Who's going to beat me? Two, 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 two. I can't do it anymore. All right, so everybody repeat after me. The top of the tip of your tongue. The top of the tip of your tongue. The top of the tip of the tongue. That's pretty good. So this is going to look funny, but the part of your tongue that actually touches the reed is here. And this part of the tongue that touches the lid. You do not put the tip of your tongue here, otherwise you'll break the reed. So what we're going to do right now is using the top of the tip of the tongue, you're going to gently touch the top part of the reed, and you're going to do this first. You're going to take a deep breath, and you're going to go. And you're going to do it in a single breath. Once you run out of breath, stop. Okay? So everyone, make the face. Ew. Ew. Get the mouthpiece close again. We're slightly tilted. We are not straight up. I'll give you 4 counts to breathe. Fill that belly and say 2 quickly until you run out of breath. And breathe. Hit it. Now, the problem that most of us will have is if you don't get a squawk, you probably don't have enough mouthpiece in your mouth. If you don't have enough, this is what happens. If you get something ridiculous, then you have too much. It's kind of in the middle. You want to put it about halfway in. Can we do that squawk one more time using the tongue quick? And here we go. Breathe in for 4 and move your tongue fast. And breathe. More mouthpiece. Breathe. More mouthpiece. Breathe. More mouthpiece. And breathe. Ta-da! Very good. Now, very good. Now, can we control that more and slow our tongue down like this? My jaw doesn't move. My chin doesn't move. The only thing that moves is my tongue. Gently going against the reed like I'm saying the word two. Let's see if we can control it, folks. Here we go. I'll give you 4 counts to breathe. And breathe. Good. Can you do that without me? Do that without me. I'll give you 4 counts to breathe. And breathe. Ready without me. Beautiful. The family dog will love it. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, the part we've all been waiting for. Now you're going to put that little bit of cork grease on the top part of that cork of the mouthpiece. And when you put this on, obviously, this is the front of the clarinet with all the holes. If you turn it backwards, that's the back of the clarinet. You want to line up the mouthpiece so the reed lines up with the back like this. If you look at the back of the clarinet, this is what it's going to look like. If you turn it the other way, you got to play the clarinet backwards. So this is what it looks like from the front. And this is what it looks like from the back. Make sure the reed is lining up with that part in the back. And sometimes I know these are a little stiff. Yeah, yours is so new. No, it's okay. This is super duper common. Just kind of twist and push, and eventually, and you just want to make sure this lines up. Cool. All right, let's see how I did today. This is just so new. It's just a little stiff. So you just kind of keep twisting and pushing, and eventually it goes on. All righty, there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. For right now, here's what we're going to do. You should have a little thumb rest on the back. This is for your right thumb. All right? So that little thumb rest, And we're just going to rest. Don't even worry about our right hand right now. These right fingers are just floating. You're not pressing down anything. They just float. Just like this. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is basically you can see wherever there's a hole is where a finger will go. For right now, don't even worry about your right hand. Just put it on right hand on the bottom and put it under that thumb rest, and the rest of your right hand, I just want the fingers to float. Just like my fingers are doing. They're not touching anything, they're just floating. Okay? Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. With our left hand, could everyone put their left hand up and make like a C? Like a gentle C, like you're curving your fingers for a C. This is your left hand. Repeat after me. Index 1.
Index 1.
Middle 2.
Middle 2.
Ring 3.
Ring 3.
Index 1, middle 2, ring 3.
Index 1. Middle 2. Ring 3.
Very good. And you'll notice that's the order that they're going to go in here. This very top hole, that's where your index is going to go, and it's going to kind of float. The second hole is where your middle finger will go, and it just kind of hangs out there. The third hole is for your ring finger. For right now, your pinky is just going to kind of float. And here's what we're going to do with the back. On the back of the clarinet, you have a hole here. For right now, I want you to cover that hole with your thumb. Don't hit the button above it, but cover the hole with your thumb. I am very quickly going to show you the first couple of notes, and you could probably play a song before you leave here today. The first note I'm going to show you is an E, and here's how you do it. Again, for all these notes, right hand just floats, does nothing other than balance. For this first note, E, you need thumb and 1. You cover the holes with the pads of your finger. Do not use the tips like you're scratching a chalkboard. Not that I think any of you use a chalkboard. But you want to use the pads of the fingers. My fingers are not up like claws. My fingers are flat. The pads are flat, so I cover. My thumb is not hitting the button. My thumb is covering the hole. An E sounds like this. Me first. Notice, I am at an angle. I am not playing bazooka clarinet. I am not perpendicular with the floor. I'm looking straight ahead. My head is up, my chin is up, my eyes are forward. I'm at a slight angle. Thumb covering the hole. 1, and here's the E. Let's try it together. By the way, folks, if you squeak, I bet you $1 million it's because you put too much mouthpiece in your mouth. Check it out. That's what happens when you eat the mouthpiece. Don't eat your clarinet, folks. Here we go. Let's try an E. Thumb, 1. Everything else is floating. Thumb in 1 of your left hand. Right hand's on the bottom. I'll give you 4 counts to breathe. Let's see what happens. 1, 2, ready, Yeah! Good! Do that without me. Without me. Head up, chin up. I see some people over your teeth. Like this. It looks just the same with the mouthpiece. No, not good. No duck face. Let's try that one more time. Thumb, covering the hole. 1. Be very careful you don't bump into the D. It's almost identical to the E. Thumb, 1, 2. Thumb, 1, 2. Use the pads of your fingers. Do not use the tips. Cover those holes all the way. If you do not cover the holes all the way, the notes don't work. Yeah, just if you can find, you're almost digging the tip in there, just flatten it out. Yeah, there you go, yeah. Just be very careful you don't bump that. If you bump that on accident, it makes the note sound weird. All right. Let me see those hands real fast. Can you take a lap? Bazooka clarinet. Here we go. Thumb, 1, 2. Together. 1, 2, 1, ew. Good. Do that without me. 2, 1, Good. Do that without me. 2, ring finger 3. The thumb is covered in the back. Make sure not the tip of your thumb, the pad of your thumb. 1, 2, 3. Your pinky is just floating. For right now, folks, your right hand is still doing nothing. A C sounds like this. Me first. By the way, folks, when we play, stay still. A lot of the reason why beginners, why they sound like is because you can't sit still. When I bounce, that's what I sound like. Try to stay still. I see some of you squirming in your chairs. Just stay nice and still. Bring it up to that angle. Feet flat, butt edge, sit tall, all that good stuff. And I'll give you 4 counts. Let's do it together. Breathe. Thumb 1, 2, 3. Yeah! That's my head. And when you take the reed off, you can go ahead and put in that little protective case. Be very careful when you wipe the drool off that you don't accidentally chip the reed. Because if you break, chip a reed, or if it gets really old, it don't work no more.
No what?
Okay? Now don't take it, someone's getting ahead of us. Let me know, now you can go ahead and put the reeds back in those little plastic protectors. Now most of you should have in your case a cleaning cloth like this. And you will clean this every time you're done playing. Basically, there's a little weighted end on the string. You just drop it in through the bell. And then it'll kind of hang out the other side. And then you just thread the needle. I'll do it again. You put the stringy side, the weighted side through the bell. I'm holding my clarinet upside down. Faye, I'll get to your question in a second. And then you just thread the needle. Okay? I'll take a quick peek at that. Faye, did you have a question? Basically, you can take it apart backwards. Starting with, hey, what's this part called? Ding, 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 ding.
Bell.
Take the bell off, and it's like a puzzle piece. Put the bell and the bell compartment. Again, if it's stiff because these clarinets are new, twist and pull, and twist and pull, and twist and pull. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Mr. Meyer. Oh, watch me twist. Try not to wrap my hand around any keys because I don't want to bend them. So, you can take off the bell and then you can disconnect the joints. And you can tell which part of your case the lower joint goes into because the case will have a little dent, a little divot to make room for your thumb rest. So that one for you is right here. Don't bunch it up in there. Try to get it as long and flat as you can. If you try to wad it in there, it can get stuck. So that's why I just let gravity do its thing. I hold my clarinet backwards, I drop it in there. I just kind of let gravity, and I just kind of go. Now let's say your cloth is really thick on your cleaning swipe, and it doesn't want to go all the way through. If it doesn't want to go all the way through, which this one is now, you can just grab the opposite end and pull it back out the way you came. So you would just clean yours. If this is a big pain in the butt for you, you can just do this. The lower joint and the part of your case that has the little dent, and then your upper joint, everything is a puzzle piece. There's only one way that it can go. Now when you put your mouthpiece away, you can slide your ligature. You can slide your ligature over the mouthpiece and just keep it in there like that. Some of you might have a mouthpiece cap. You can just put that on just like that and then put the mouthpiece in there. Does that make sense? Are there any questions for me before we see if the Cubs clinch tonight or not?